Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're unpacking something complex again. We're building on our understanding of weight loss medication, specifically semaglutide.
Right.
But we're introducing a really groundbreaking perspective today.
Definitely. It goes beyond the usual conversation.
Yeah, exactly. So many of us know the conventional wisdom, calories, discipline, all that.
Sure. The standard stuff.
But our mission today is different. We want to explore how semaglutide is seen by someone who isn't selling a diet plan. Our source, Dan Hollis, he describes it as decoding emotional amnesia.
Which is a fascinating phrase in itself, emotional amnesia.
It really is. What he means is, like how we often use food to bury feelings,
Right.
to push them away, almost forget the triggers.
Yeah, like a selective memory about why we're actually eating.
Right. And it leads to this, pretty surprising central idea. Maybe it was never actually about the food at all.
And Dan Hollis really introduces a, transformative idea here. For anyone familiar with semaglutide, the basics, right? It mimics GLP-1, helps with appetite, blood
The
sugar.
biological mechanism. Yeah.
Exactly. But Dan focuses on something else. He argues it's not just quieting physical hunger, it's quieting the mental noise.
The chatter.
Yeah, the emotional clutter tied up with food. And in that newfound mental space, that silence, he argues that's where clarity can emerge, a truth that was, drowned out before.
Huh.
As he puts it, semaglutide gives you silence, and silence gives you truth.
Wow. That idea of finding truth in silence, that's already pretty compelling.
It is.
But here's where Dan's insight gets really profound, I think. He suggests the main takeaway isn't what we usually hear with weight loss stuff.
Like lose weight fast.
Right, or crush cravings. None of that. Instead, it's this really fundamental question. What if you weren't broken, just confused?
That shifts everything.
It really does.
Yeah.
So this deep dive is all about exploring that reframe. What does it actually mean for how we think about food and, ourselves?
And another really interesting part is how his approach goes way beyond just, suppressing appetite or burning fat.
Okay.
According to Dan, semaglutide gives you a moment where food stops talking. Just stops.
It's talking.
Yeah. And he says for many people, that might be the first truly honest moment they've had in maybe 20 years.
20 years. Wow.
Because that constant internal monologue about food, what should I eat, when did I eat too much, it just goes quiet.
Okay.
And that silence, that pause, it opens up this really critical window, a unique chance for deep internal work that just wasn't possible before for a lot of folks.
That idea of sudden quiet.
Oh.
It's fascinating. I can totally imagine, though, if food has always been your go-to coping thing, that silence could actually feel, pretty unsettling, maybe even scary.
That's precisely it.
So what does Dan say happens then? When that, emotional static disappears and people are face-to-face with this new, quiet reality?
Well, that's the core challenge she identifies. People often don't fail because the drug stops working.
Right.
They fail because, and this is his quote, no one taught them what to do with the quiet.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Think about it, right? If food isn't there as the default way to cope, or as he kind of metaphorically calls it, their favorite lie.
The favorite lie. Interesting phrase. The comfort, the escape.
Exactly. When that's gone, people can feel totally adrift, lost.
Yeah.
And that feeling can push them right back to the familiar patterns. The cheese puffs, cheat days, chaos, as he puts it, simply because the quiet feels too strange, maybe even threatening.
So the quiet isn't the destination, it's more like the starting block.
Precisely. It's the opportunity.
So how does Dan help people navigate that space where their usual coping tool isn't talking anymore?
So he's developed a really specific framework for exactly that, for navigating the quiet. And it's not just about shedding pounds. It's about, as he says, rewriting the story people were too full to finish.
Rewriting the story. I like that.
Yeah. He explains that he basically builds scaffolding in the space semaglutide opens.
Scaffolding? Like construction?
Kind of. He means helping construct new mental and emotional supports. Things to hold you up.
Okay, what kind of supports?
These are critical elements like framework, developing a new sense of identity, establishing rituals, finding new language. Basically, giving people tools for transformation.
Tools to fill the space.
Exactly. Tools to fill the space that food used to occupy.
That makes so much sense. Because, for most of us, hunger is just A physical signal, right?
Yeah.
Stomach growls, time to eat.
That's the common understanding.
But Dan sees it very differently. He argues it's often just a stand-in.
A stand-in.
Yeah, like a surrogate for something deeper, maybe meaning or comfort or just escape.
Ah, okay. So the hunger pang isn't just about needing fuel.
Right. So when semaglutide quiets that physical and mental static, as he calls it, that's when the truth begins.
And that can be jarring.
Totally. It
Yep.
can be incredibly disorienting.
Right.
Maybe even bring on a kind of grief, because for so long, food was the plan. It was the rhythm of the day, the reliable escape hatch.
Exactly. The act of eating, planning meals, thinking about food, it was often woven deep into the fabric of their lives, their coping strategies, maybe even social stuff.
Right.
So when that gets quieted down, it leaves this void. And that void needs to be consciously filled with something else. That's where the real work starts.
Which really highlights why you need more than just the medication itself.
Absolutely.
So what does Dan say about, like, community?
Yeah.
Support systems, how important are they in this?
Oh, this is huge for him. He has this really powerful insight. He says, most people don't fail because the medication doesn't work. They fail because they were alone.
Wow, that's quite a statement. Alone in the quiet.
Right. He really hammers this point home. Support isn't optional. It's neurobiological scaffolding.
Neurobiological scaffolding. Explain that a bit more.
Well, neurobiological points to the brain, right? He means creating new, healthy brain pathways, new routines, new habits that over time become just as strong, just as foundational as the old patterns they're replacing.
Ah, okay. So it's like literally rebuilding brain structures.
In a way, yeah. Things like rituals, a steady rhythm, daily routines, these become, in his words, neurobiological replacement structures. They actually hold you up, give you stability when the old props are gone.
That concept, neurobiological scaffolding, is brilliant. Really shifts how you think about support.
It does.
And it leads right into another key idea Dan talks about, the identity gap.
Yes.
He says, your body changes faster than your identity. Could you unpack that one for us?
Sure. This points to a really significant psychological hurdle. You know, when someone's physical appearance changes really quickly because of the medication.
Right, which can happen with these drugs.
Exactly. Their internal self-image, their identity, it often struggles to keep up.
So they still see themselves
As the person who struggles with food or the overweight person, even when the mirror shows something different.
that disconnect must feel really weird. Maybe even lead to self-sabotage.
It absolutely can. It causes unease, confusion. And so Dan's work is specifically about helping people bridge that gap, helping them rebuild agency, reframe meaning, and relearn momentum.
Agency meaning momentum.
Oh, and a big part of that is redefining the win condition. It's not just about hitting a certain number on the scale.
What is it then?
It's about living more rather than just eating less, a much bigger, more fulfilling goal.
So you're rewriting the internal story to actually match the external changes. That feels like a massive shift.
It's huge. And Dan has this powerful summary that just nails it. Weight loss is biology. Staying there is narrative.
Biology versus narrative. Okay.
He argues that's why so many people rebound. They lose the weight. The biology part works, but they never rewrite their story.
So the old narrative just pulls them back.
Exactly. That old identity, those old patterns linked to the story. Dan's work is designed specifically to fill that space created by the medication's quiet. Fill it with structure, community, a new identity, purpose, and give it time.
Filling the space so the old story can't creep back in.
Precisely. Preventing that return to the old pattern.
Okay, but what about, setbacks? Those moments when things don't go perfectly, they can feel so crushing in a typical weight loss effort. How does Dan's framework handle those?
He reframes them completely, which is so important. He says setbacks are predictable, not shameful.
Predictable, not shameful. I like that.
Yeah, they're just signals you're human. It's not a failure, and it's not a straight line down. He calls it a spiral staircase.
The spiral staircase.
Yeah, you might feel like you're going in circles sometimes, revisiting old issues, but you're actually still climbing, still gaining height, gaining new perspective with each turn.
Okay, that's a much more forgiving image than just falling off the wagon.
Right. And a key piece of advice he gives for navigating this climb is pacing is protection. Don't try to rush the process.
Pacing is protection. That implies a much more compassionate way to approach this whole thing.
He does.
So how does he encourage people to actually learn from those moments instead of just feeling like they failed?
Well, he explains things like plateaus, for instance, as simply the body catching up. It's a normal adjustment period.
Not a sign you're doing something wrong.
Not at all. And old cravings coming back. That's just memory, he says. It's not weakness. It's echoes of old neural pathways.
Memory, not weakness. Okay.
So in his view, setbacks basically mean the story. That narrative we talked about, it just needs a bit more updating. It's not finished yet.
So it's feedback.
Exactly. They offer this incredible chance to just pause and ask yourself some really important questions. What am I actually feeling right now? What do I truly need? Who is the person I want to become?
Asking those questions instead of just reaching for the food.
Right. It completely redefines losing as learning. It turns those challenging moments into opportunities for real self-discovery, much deeper work.
Okay, so as we start to wrap up this deep dive, it's really clear Dan Hollis offers this, well, truly profound shift in thinking about semaglutide.
Definitely.
It's not just a prescription you pick up. It's more of a pause button, like you said.
Yeah, a unique opportunity.
Right. It creates this incredible chance for deep personal change, for transformation that goes way, way beyond just diet and exercise.
And it really all circles back to that central theme, doesn't it? People don't relapse into hunger. They relapse into confusion.
Confusion. Because the old map doesn't work anymore.
Precisely. And Dan's work, that scaffolding, it's all about providing the framework, the tools to navigate that confusion, to help people truly rewrite their narrative.
So the next chapter feels intentional.
Exactly. So it feels written, not improvised on the fly when things get tough.
So a final thought then, maybe for you listening. If hunger, or cravings, or even those setbacks,
Yeah.
if they aren't just about food or lack of discipline, but maybe they're a deeper call for meaning, or perhaps a historical story from your past asking to be finally rewritten.
It makes you wonder.
Yeah. What silence might you need to actually listen to in your own life, and what story are you finally ready to finish?